Hey Fragrance family, I'm David and I'm a Fragrance Bro, of course your best source for everything fragrance related. Today I have another in the series talking about the best and the worst. The house is Imaginary Authors. I just did the best, which was Memoirs of a Trespasser. Today I'm going to talk about the worst. And the worst, if you can't tell from this graphic right here, is Whispered Myths. Now, I mentioned it before, but Imaginary Authors is one of my favorite houses. I love them. All their fragrances are kind of fashioned to be like books in a series. This is kind of the spine of the book, really cool. And of course, the authors and the books are imaginary. I think it's really cool aesthetic. I'm a book lover. I really like that. It really resonates with me. But their fragrances are also incredible. And I think there are so many great fragrances in the line. I mentioned Memoirs of a Trespasser being my favorite. Truth be told, they don't have a lot of bad scents, I think. They have so many good scents. Now, some scents in their line, of course, don't resonate with me as strongly as others, but I don't really think they have that many bad ones. So choosing this one is saying a lot. I think it might be the worst in their line, but I don't necessarily think it's a bad scent. This one is just a scent that's not for me. So all that to say, if this sounds like something you're interested in, definitely check it out. Imaginary Authors is great. They have a great sample service as well. Now, a little bit about Whispered Myths here. So I think for this scent, it was a limited release, and they kind of released this as a secret type of fragrance. You could go to their website, and it was not linked directly. You could actually find this graphic of this angel or this girl or whoever this is in their website. You could click on it and it would go to the page, but they wouldn't have it directly listed. And they had it that way for a long time. And now I think they actually eventually listed it on their website in a public way, but it had a really interesting start to it. And this one is definitely a scent that is, I think, more for a Middle Eastern style audience. This one is an oud scent. You can see the notes here are natural Cambodian oud, cantaloupe, cedarwood, muscadonna, honey, and salvaged shipwreck. And salvaged shipwreck. That's a tongue twister. Now, because it's oud, this is automatically a very polarizing scent. Oud can be a polarizing note if you're not accustomed to it. Some ouds I find are better for Western noses. Natural Cambodian oud, not one of them. I think this is one of the worst smelling ouds in my opinion. This is the strongest one and one of the funkiest ones. Now, I don't want to go to a whole in-depth guide about what oud is, but oud definitely interesting and used a lot in the Middle East and in Asia as incense and like a perfume ingredient. And this one is definitely oud focused and oud heavy. And I get that almost the entire way through the fragrance. You get it right away and then you get it right until the bitter end of this fragrance. Now, there are some redeeming qualities about this fragrance. I think whenever you spray it right away, you get a whole lot of oud. It's very skanky and animalic smelling. It has almost like a burnt quality to it, very funky. And you do actually get the cantaloupe, especially at the first spray. You get that cantaloupe type of smell. You do get some honey, and you do get a lot of wood in here. I'm not too familiar with muscadonna, so I can't really say that much about it. But what I find interesting about this scent is that it says the imaginary note is salvaged shipwreck. And what I think is kind of cool about that is that it does actually evoke that image to me in my mind whenever I smell this. So to me, this almost smells like antique wood varnish. Like if you had antique wood or antique furniture, it has that old kind of almost musky wooden type of smell. And I actually think that that part of this scent is actually beautiful. So it has a varnished wood antique furniture type of smell on top of this almost sea-like saltiness in here. So those two together do actually remind me of the shipwreck type of accord. And if that was all, I think that would be actually a very interesting fragrance. But because you get the oud and everything else, I just have a hard time with this fragrance. I really don't like this fragrance. I think I may have sprayed this maybe 5 times and just to try it a few times and to review it, and that's been it. And as you can see, this bottle looks almost like a third empty, and that's kind of deceiving here because it's leaked so much. These old bottles have just, I guess, a bad seal, and they leak a lot. Not really sure why. Hopefully they fixed that, but I have so many fragrances that have just leaked and evaporated, unlike some other fragrances that I have. All that to say, Imaginary Authors is a great line, and they have some really great fragrances. Some I find are amazing, and I don't think they have that many bad scents. This is really the only one that I don't really care for, and that says a lot. However, as I've mentioned before, I think this is for somebody. I don't think this is a bad scent on its face. I think this is a really well done fragrance, very unique, and it does smell very high quality. If you like the Cambodian oud, that type of smell, I think that you will really like this. This is just a really interesting scent. It's just honestly not for me. So for me, this is their worst.
With that, I'd like to thank my sponsor, Fragrance X. Fragrance X is an online reseller that sells thousands of legitimate products for a discounted cost. If you're considering buying a fragrance, definitely check out Fragrance X. I'll have a link down below to them as well as a coupon. But also check out Rakuten.com. Rakuten.com is a website that offers you a rebate with every purchase that you make through their website. They actually have a deal with Fragrance X that offers you a certain percentage in rebates just by buying through Rakuten. So I'll have a link down below to them as well. Definitely check out Fragrance X and Rakuten together. Great.
But I would love to hear what you think. What do you think are the best and the worst? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you next time. I'm Dave with the Fragrance Bros.